Hi, game dev. I make game. I show game. Cool? Cool. I just wanted to finally get into the group of documenting my process, which I've been doing. I've been posting devlogs on itch.io for a while. I guess a little bit because I started this in January, this game. And then I left it alone for 4 months, and then I decided, well, I should probably bring it back from the dead. No pun intended. And so I picked it back up, and I think I have made about 10 times the progress that I did in January in the last 2 weeks alone. It's really shaping up to a place that I'm really excited for it to be. I wasn't really recording this while I was developing for this session anyways. I think I'm just now finishing up alpha version 3 of TSS, which is a working title. I need to think of a good title. I know it's not a good title, but I like it for now because it's really simple. Twin stick shooter, super easy. So I'm announcing that I'm gonna start posting devlog videos for this game, because I really want to document the process in a visual aspect more than just devlog posts on itch can show. I just want to get my game out there, you know? I just want to get word out, and I want to show you guys what I've been coming up with, because I'm super proud of it, and I just really want to get people to play it is my main thing. I've had a couple of my friends test it out, or play test it, and they've liked it so far. I've had some good constructive criticism from them as well, but I've not really found a whole lot of feedback. I need more feedback is what I'm thinking, and so I really want to just put out some videos and see if I can get some more people playtesting or getting comments, because I post it every time I upload a new version. I post it to itch.io as HTML and exe and an x86 64 for Linux, because that's what I run on. I code on Linux. So I post it every single time I make a major update, or every time I upload a devlog, I post a new version. I don't know if I'll continue doing that with the videos, but on itch I definitely will be posting a devlog every time I post a new version. And I just really want people to play it, and I want people to tell me what they think. So I'm going to be trying my best to post videos, not frequently, but semi-frequently, because I really want people to start watching these, and I would really appreciate if you watching this right now would go over to my itch.io page if you're on a computer and check it out. It doesn't work well on mobile. I don't know how to do mobile, but it's on PC, it's on webs, if it's on exe, if you want to download it. I believe if you download it, it saves your progress, which is pretty cool. That's one thing that I found out. I haven't even talked about any of the features in the game. I guess we should go over some things that I've added in the newest update, which has been quite a lot because I haven't posted a new one in a while. So let's go. So here is my actual project. It's not much right now. It's actually quite a lot right now. This is my whole game. If I had to sum it up all into one little screen, it's this. I've only before this ever done one game jam, so I've only released one game before this, and that was not in Godot, that was in Game Maker. So I've tried to learn Godot. I've been picking up the engine pretty well. It's a bit confusing, but I'm getting there. What have I added most recently? One of the best things I added, I did a complete overhaul of the UI. Themes. I didn't know how you did a theme. I tried looking at themes before and it just didn't make sense, but I've completely added in the theme for things that I'm using so far, not everything. But even I went into, when we go into our settings, I even went so far as to put in some little sprites to match the pixel art aesthetic for the specific things. One of the things I'm most proud of is the difficulty setting that I just added. One of the complaints that I got from my girlfriend who playtested, who doesn't play video games often, was that it was too difficult, which, that makes sense. And so I thought, okay, I should make it to where there's a difficulty setting for those who don't play video games very much. It's like, I want it to be accessible to all. And so if we look here, it even has an easy mode, normal, and a hard mode. And I thought it'd be fun. I've seen games do this where they have a little sprite to indicate the difficulties, and so I went with the enemies in the game as they got harder. I think that's kind of fun. And before it was playtested, I knew I wanted to do a hard mode of some kind, but I thought an easy mode would also help. A hard mode is just something that I have ideas for. I wanted to add a special weapon in hard mode and an extra boss, I think. Although I don't know how possible that's going to be. I really need to look into that, because one of the curses that I have is that I am a big fan of calculus. And so I decided I needed to have too many equations. What is my favorite? Some exponential. My favorite equation, the biggest offender of my obsession with math to an extent, was this equation right here, which I had to pull out Desmos to fully visualize and idealize, because I decided I really don't like linear curves, and a squared curve clearly just doesn't make sense, and that's gonna get too difficult too fast. And so I really had to think about it, and I settled on an equation that looks something like this. So yeah, I guess you could say that I may have gone a little bit overboard. Another culprit, although I don't know if it's that intense, is the reload time function. It looks something like that in code, in text. And in a graph, I also pulled out Desmos for this one, it looks like this. So yeah, all good times. This one wasn't fully my idea. I have ChatGPT to blame for that one, along with a lot of ideas behind... Not ideas, I have most of the ideas. But I have ChatGPT to thank for helping me visualize this, because I am not a coder. I've never taken a computer science class. I love the idea of coding, and I've always wanted to learn. And we'll just take a little scroll down my character script, which is the longest, while I rant. I've always wanted to learn how to code. I've tried since a very young age. Most of my time spent in elementary school was spent on Scratch, the MIT website. That was my jam. I have over 300 projects on Scratch, including I led a team. I guess it counts as my first indie game, as I led a team in Scratch to, over the span of 1 year, create a game where I don't think I did a lot of the work, but I was the team leader, and I had the idea, so I think it counts. But yeah, that was my first foray into indie game dev. But, 6, 7, 8 years later? God, I almost graduated. I graduate in a week. My journey for game dev has really only taken its second step a year ago, when I entered a game jam and I made my my 2D. I don't know. I think it counts as a running gun. Otters, shellfish, and eels. Oh my! I really like that. I got pretty familiar with Game Maker Studio in that one, but I still wasn't very well versed in how to use the engine, and I think I've kind of rectified that using the help of AI in my teachings, or in my learning, along with other tutorials. I have Brackies to thank for a lot of learning how to use all this, the G.O.A.T. And I just really want to learn how to use the engine, and I don't have resources or time to get a real teacher, although if I did, believe me, I would go to a real teacher. But I've been using language models for learning how to actually visualize most of the ideas that I have, and I've been figuring it out here and there. I've been using it less and less, which is nice. My goal is to end up not needing it at all, but as it stands, it's been pretty helpful. Also, things I'm very proud of is a debug menu and a pause menu, which I'm very, very, very happy with, because it has saved me so much time creating a debug menu this early in. I was so worried because I had no idea how to do it, and then as soon as it was made, it was so simple, and oh, it has saved me so much time. I always thought it was silly putting time into making things that are not even going to be in the game, but simple debug methods, it's a godsend, believe me. One of the biggest changes in this new update is I completely reworked the color palette. I drew all of this, you can tell because it's not good, but I drew all of this, and I wasn't thinking too much about color theory or color palettes. I just decided to use what colors I thought looked good, and it looks alright. I mean, if we look at what it used to look like, I mean, if we go into the original game, you can even see the logo's different, but if we go into the original, I mean, it's vibrant. It's not terrible. It looks too much like Minecraft in my opinion, but you can clearly see that, I mean, they look like what they're supposed to look like, I think. I don't think it's too bad, but I think what is missing is vibes, like just the essence of what it's supposed to look like. It's different, because when we take this and we look at this, it's just a different beast entirely. I remember I just saw this advice in a YouTube video. I can't remember which one. I'll link it if I can find it, but it said that you should just go online. There's a website, I forget the name of the website, but I'm gonna link it, and I'm gonna link the specific color palette I used, because I have the person who made it to thank for my game not looking like utter dog water. But I saw a video where one of the words of advice was just to go online and look at specific color palettes and use a specific color palette in your game, because that will make your game look better. And I mean, I didn't even think about that, but it makes sense. Color theory is clearly very important. I'm a musician, and I think music theory is very important, and some people don't even agree with me. But like, as an artist, of course, like, color theory is definitely important. I don't know anything about art, so I wouldn't know that color theory is important. And now, it doesn't mean that everything is in that color palette. I left the roads and the sidewalk, the concrete, and my player has not changed. And for some of the zombies, I have left their eyes more red, just because I want to give it that more ominous feeling. I tweaked some settings here and there. I made each power-up 2 different power-ups. I had 2 levels per power-up, I should say. I had to do a lot of changing the UI system. Inside the code specifically, I got rid of about 20 different variables and replaced them with arrays and dictionaries, which I still don't understand how dictionaries work. If anyone wants to like tell me in the comments, I would love it. I kind of get it. I made one myself. I made this myself. This one I made completely myself with no ChatGPT help, because I copied and pasted this one and I just kind of deleted a bit. But I mean, I understood what I was doing, and I went down here and I connected it and everything, and it works. But I changed a lot of systems in the code, where now it's, instead of each individual gun or each individual upgrade having its own Boolean variable to know if you have it, it's arrays and it's dictionaries. It's arrays within dictionaries. There's more functions that do things. It's these 2 I think are my longest scripts. Yeah, 225 lines for shop UI alone, which it was not that much yesterday or the day before. And holy moly, 482 lines of code in my player script. It's wild to think that I've done all that. And I've done not all of it, but even quite a bit of this was done before I started using AI for help. Although it's helped a significant amount. And I cannot act like I would have done all of this or figured all this out without it. But I've done quite a bit, and I'm really proud of my player. I think it's very fun to control. I think the controls are very intuitive. I really wanted to focus on the controls first, because that's what I've heard over and over again, is make your core gameplay loop fun and then figure everything else out later. So I think I've done that pretty well. I don't know if the new enemies were in the last update, but I made a new enemy as well, a jumper. It's like a frog with teeth. It's a frog zombie with teeth, basically. They're very powerful. They only show up starting at wave 12. They're one of my favorite new additions. They're my favorite enemy, I think, just because they're so different than the other ones, because all the other ones just walk at you constantly. I don't know what the next enemy will be, because I'm kind of low on ideas for new enemies because of how they work right now and how little I understand the pathfinding systems. But I do think, this is a little hint, I think the next boss 2 out of 3, will be a souped up jumper. But yeah, that's about all that I've added. I'm quite content with what I've done. I'm thinking of adding a dash, like a roll or whatever, to get out of the way. I've been toying with the idea of implementing a sprint system or a stamina system, because the current way my speed works is you can kind of just outrun zombies forever at some points, and while you regenerate. And so I am not sure if I want to change that, because after a while, I mean, first off, it's boring if you keep doing that, and then second, there are enemies that shoot projectiles or enemies that outrun you, and so, and at points you do have to reload, and so it's like, it's not a foolproof cheese, but I would like to implement some sort of stamina system, just where if you're running or if you're moving, you have a bar and you can't run at full speed for too long, otherwise you will stop for a while. That's what I'm thinking. And then I'm thinking of a dash or a roll out of the way, a directional roll, which would be cool, but I don't know how I would do a cooldown of it or implement a cap on it, because it would be very overpowered if you didn't. If I just said, hey, you can dash as much as you want, if I'm just dashing around like a maniac, that would not really work. And so if you have any ideas for implementing a cooldown or a limit on dashing, let me know. I think that would be pretty cool, because I do think it's a cool idea that I just want to implement it. Also, the music. I completely made all the music myself. I am a musician, as I said before, so if you like the music, boom, I'll probably link my SoundCloud or something. I make music outside of video games as well. Let me know if you guys would like to see a rhythm game and if you have any cool ideas. If you want to check out the game, the itch.io page for it is down in the description. You could download it on Windows or Linux, or you could play it right in your browser. It's got full controller support, so you could always lean back and relax and enjoy it. And if you have any suggestions, please leave comments either on itch.io or in the YouTube comments below. I really want feedback. I just really want to see if you guys like it, if you dislike it. You could even tell me if you absolutely hate it. I would love to know why, because I really want to make sure that this game is pretty good, because that's what I strive for, is for my games to be pretty good. Thank you for watching this far. I know retention rates are insane, so you guys who stuck it out to the very end, troopers, I must say. Thank you. Bye-bye.